Hey y'all, welcome to Adventures with Aggie, brought to you by the Ryan Martin Foundation. Today we're starting an exciting new series featuring Welsh athletes from Disability Sport Wales. Today, our first episode of the series features Tom Matthews. He's a wheelchair tennis player who's going to represent Great Britain in Tokyo. Please welcome Tom.
Tom, how
She's
are you
good at doing
doing
that.
today?
Sorry, go on, sorry.
Oh,
uh, yeah, really well. Yeah,
cool. Awesome. I'm so excited to meet you. This is going to be great. I just kind of want to walk through your story a little bit. But first, let's just start with background. Can you tell me who you are and what you do?
so I'm Thomas Matthews. I'm a Paralympic table tennis player for Great Britain. Yeah,
Awesome. How did you find table tennis to be your sport?
so a little bit of a background story. I'm gonna have to go over it because that's how I kind of got into it. I was 16 years of age. I used to race downhill mountain bikes, riding down the side of the mountain in between trees and rocks and all that crazy stuff. And one day I was out practicing and went over the handlebars and broke my neck. Whilst I was in hospital, then in rehab, a guy used to come around the ward and try and get people into sport. And table tennis was the easiest one to do in hospital. Couldn't really do archery in hospital. You don't want to be shooting someone when you're recovering. So yeah, he kept coming around. Just kept telling him to get lost really because I was 16. I thought I was getting back on my push bike, but in the end, I got up just to shut him up really, and kind of fell in love with the sport. My parents were bringing me a local takeaway down, and I'd never let this takeaway go cold because it was my favorite thing to eat. And I literally stayed on the table till about 9 in the evening, and my takeaway went cold. So yeah, I must have fell in love with the sport from there, and ever since I've been in love with it.
That's awesome. That's one of those coincidences or accidents. I don't know what that's called, but that's awesome that he was so persistent too to make you
Yeah,
try.
because well, he'd been to 5 Paralympics himself, which I didn't know at the time. Um, for him and his wife Jim Monkley and Christine Monkley were amazing. Like fair play to them. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am. So all credit to them.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, I have to ask you about Disability Sport Wales. That's kind of why how we're sitting here now talking to each other. But I guess how did you find Disability Sport Wales, and I guess how did your kind of involvement
So how I
change
found
over
them was
time?
through Jim Monkley, the guy that was coming around the hospital
Okay.
and trying to get people out of bed. He done it really well, as you could tell. He got us involved. So yeah, that's how I found them. And to be honest, they're a really good organisation. They cover all Paralympic sports, so it's a great organisation. But obviously, they give me the opportunity to try other sports, but I didn't really. I weren't interested. I was interested in table tennis straight from the mark, and that's kind of how it went. I've done kind of events with them where you do there's 28 sports and they're like a normal hall, and some um, students come in from schools and like disabled backgrounds come in and try out sports. So it's a really good organization and really well planned out.
Definitely. I can tell. I can tell with you and Olivia. I don't know. Everybody I've spoken to from there loves it. And I
Yeah,
love that for y'all.
Beth, that really love it. It's crazy because
Yeah.
I think we're the only ones in the UK that got something like that. Like they haven't got Disabled Sport England or stuff like that. So it's really good. And
Right.
yeah, I think more countries should take that approach on really.
Definitely. Yeah. It's special. It's special for sure. So cool. Awesome. Well, let's kind of go back into table tennis. Can you tell us, for those who don't know, how table tennis is scored?
Yeah, so it's you get two serves each, and that's how it scores point by point. When it gets to 10 all, like deuce, it's one serve each, but you gotta win by two clear points. So if it's 10 all, it gotta be 10-12. It can't be 10-11. Like it's gotta be two clear points.
Simple enough.
Yeah, simple enough.
Great. I feel like that's not how I've played table tennis in my basement with my
Nice,
little
great.
sister.
Everyone thinks it's just a holiday sport. You're just having a few drinks on the sideline and enjoying yourself. No, it is quite serious, and yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. No, it's so funny because I do think it is cool how like there this sport is unique in that people probably have an experience trying it. Like,
Yeah, for sure. It's inclusive for everyone. That's the good
mhm.
thing about it. Anyone can try it. Anyone can give it a go, and that's what I love about it most.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think. I was watching Team USA gymnastics this morning. That's not something I've ever tried or want to really.
I should give it a go in a wheelchair. That'd be
Yeah. That would be so cool. You gotta try.
No, I don't. Not before Tokyo, anyway. Maybe after.
Yes, next year, 2024. That can be your mission. Cool. Awesome. Well, let's talk about your table tennis career a little bit. Can you kind of give us story time? Maybe some of your most memorable or challenging events?
Um, Probably the most memorable and probably most challenging was the Europeans in 2015, my first European Championships. And as I was flying out, I went very well. Just about boarded the flight and kind of got out there, sorted out the problems, but it still kind of got out in the way. I just didn't feel right. But it kind of turned out to be my best tournament ever. I ended up winning a bronze medal in my first Europeans, and then went on to team event with the Paralympic champion Rob Davis, and we won the European gold. So it was a crazy event. It was ups and downs, but we came out on top, which was really surprising. Yeah, it was amazing.
That it sounds like it. I wish I was there.
Yeah, no, it was a really good event. Really good event.
Yeah, cool. I love that. I love that for you. Congrats. That's so
Thank
exciting.
you, thank you. And we still are European champions in team because ever since there haven't been enough teams to compete, so we still got that record. So I'm still a European champion in team event. So I'm well
That's
happy.
so cool. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's see if anybody challenges you in the next few years here.
Bring it on, and we got on.
I love it. Cool. I want to ask you kind of about training. I guess you can take this in a COVID light or a not COVID light, whatever you like. But can you kind of just describe a typical day of training and how that goes for you?
Yeah, so we can go through COVID really. Where it started in the pandemic. Basically, what Paralympics GB, they sent us out table tennis tables to our house. Luckily, I'm single, so I didn't have a girlfriend to tell me no, you're not having a table in the house because it's just crazy. They're huge. And then you get like a robot the other side, so it shoots balls. If you ever watch tennis, where they have like I think it just shoots balls at them or baseball, whatever, it just shoots a ball out. It's basically that on the other side of the table. So we had them delivered, and we've done really well throughout the pandemic to kind of keep training and keep on Zoom calls, Teams, just constant Zoom calls. Kind of got fed up with Zoom towards the end, but then we managed to get back in the training hall. And ever since that, it's been kind of back to routine, obviously, mask wearing, temperature checks every week, COVID tests and stuff like that. But we've had really good training leading up to the games and excited to get to Tokyo, really.
Me too. Me too. Wait, I have a question about this ball machine. Does this
Yeah.
mean as you're hitting them, they're flying around your room or your apartment or whatever it is?
So it has got a net the other side, but some of them do get out. So you do have to pick up some afterwards, which is quite challenging because they get under the sofa and under the cabinets and things like that. But it's all part of it, I guess.
I'm picturing just like a cartoon, like you hitting it and there's balls flying everywhere with purpose, of course, but
Well, it could be for a bit of fun as well, you know.
I love it. Cool. I want to ask you about the flip side. I guess we're talking about physical training. I know that you believe athletes need to talk about their mental health and things. How do you take care of your own mental health?
Yeah, for sure. I anyone that needs help, I just speak to someone about it. Definitely. So my mental health, I struggled as a kid really. I got bullied in school at one point, and I kind of kept it all inside, didn't tell anyone. And in the end, it was like the only way I can explain it was like a cola bottle where you shake it, got too fizz and exploded. I just burst into tears every day. Couldn't go into school. The teachers tried to keep me in school, got pulled out of school and kind of didn't go back and just had a year out. And then in the end, where I settled my mental health down, I was able to go back and kind of recalibrate that. Coming on to my accident though, I didn't really suffer with it too much because I didn't bottle up anything. Me and my father spoke openly about things. I knew I wasn't going to walk again before the doctor came in and told me because my father had already spoke to the doctors and he'd already prepared me for that conversation. So I think speaking out about things really helps instead of bottling things up. Yeah, there is some down days. You do get down days, but there's more positives than downs now. I very, very rarely get a down day, and that's just because I speak out and I'm very open about things.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I think that's great. Helpful long run, short run,
Yeah,
everything in
I
between.
try to break it down quite a lot there, but
Yeah,
that's where I probably suffered most when I was a bit younger. Didn't
sure.
really understand it so much, and obviously, kind of men are kind of told to keep it in and just bottle it up. But I'd say to anyone, just speak out and try and seek help. Really.
Definitely, definitely. Awesome. Well, let's see. We've covered your story, kind of your background. We talked about training, um, physical and mental. Let's talk about Tokyo.
Yeah,
um, I'm sure you're excited, but how excited are you?
definitely. Well, it still puts a smile every time someone mentions Tokyo. Every time I just get a smile on my face. This is my first Paralympic game, so I'm really excited to go out there, give my best performance, really. And yeah, I'm really excited and can't wait.
Yeah, me too. I feel like it's been a long time coming, literally, but
Yeah,
yeah. I'm so excited though to kind of watch it play out and cheer for all of you in the middle of the night from the United States.
gonna be crazy times in the morning, but
Yeah,
appreciate the support definitely. Malone is going to be a different games, obviously with like no crowds and due to the
yeah,
pandemic. But I still think Japan and Tokyo will do an amazing job. As you can see with the Olympics at the moment,
yeah,
it's still an amazing spectacular event. So
for
yeah.
sure. So what's going on with you from now until that actually happens?
So basically, just carrying on training. Just keep going through the processes, kind of analyzing other players online and kind of watching videos back, see where we can improve. Obviously, we don't know what other people have been doing throughout the pandemic. We've prepared the best we can, and that's all we can do. So yeah, just keep preparing and get ready for it. I think I might just adjust my sleeping pattern, probably a week out, just to kind of get a bit over that jet lag. But yeah, preparing as best as we can.
For sure. I think that's one thing that I'll never get is that how all of these athletes get over their jet lag so fast
Yeah.
going over there. And I guess it's because they're doing what you're doing, like trying to
Well, some
yeah,
people do, some people don't. I've never done it before.
yeah,
I have gone to like Vegas and things like that, and kind of you recover in a day or two anyway, really.
mhm,
But I'm trying to get that out of the way before even getting out there this time. So we'll see how it goes, and
yeah.
hopefully it works out in my favor.
Yes, I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad at getting over the jet lag thing. So I couldn't imagine actually having something important to do, like
Oh
trying to get
no.
over the jet lag and compete. Yeah,
Yeah, I the worst one I ever done. I went to Vegas with my friends
yeah.
for a 30th birthday party, and then I ended up flying back to the UK. We had a delayed flight, so I had to jump on another flight then to Slovenia for a training camp, and then ended up in Korea 2 days later for a competition, which it was from I think 8 hours from behind to 8 hours in front. It was just my head was all over the place. It was a bit crazy to be honest.
Yes, that sounds crazy. That sounds
Yeah,
crazy. I wouldn't know where I was or what time it was.
I don't think I did to be honest.
No. Just show up, figure it out when it's that
Yeah.
happening.
Just hope for the best. Just get on with it.
Yes. It's a great attitude to have. Awesome. Let's see. What I guess you've talked about this really. I'm just going to ask you directly anyway. But what have you learned about yourself through table tennis? I know you've touched on a lot of things, but let's kind of go back to it.
Good question. I've learned a lot. Obviously, there is a life after injury. That's the biggest thing for me. When I first had my injury, I thought my life was over. I thought that like you see the darkest times, but there's always something out there for someone to do. Never give up. That's probably the biggest thing for anyone. And table tennis gave me the opportunity to travel the world and do something I love.
Definitely, definitely. You've answered my last two questions already, but that's
Oops.
okay. It's okay. It's fine. We'll go through them anyway. But I guess directly related to that, what advice would you give to those who want to start playing table tennis, or maybe they don't know that this is an option, but they should?
Definitely give it a go. I'd say don't just stick to table tennis. I know I'd be a bit biased and say, yeah, come on and do table tennis.
Yeah,
But don't just think there's one sport out there. There's plenty of sports out there. But table tennis is very inclusive, all inclusive to all. But there is other sports out there. Do your research and give
yeah,
anything a go. And don't be scared to fail. Just enjoy yourself and see what you enjoy most.
definitely, for sure. I love that. I think that's what we were talking about earlier, right? Like everybody's touched table tennis once, and if you're really
Yeah.
good at it, why not stick with it? you
Yeah,
know?
definitely. Give it a go, and
Yes, for sure. I've had many hours of table tennis in my basement in Alabama. I can't say I'm good at it, but it was still fun.
yeah, you enjoyed it, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, I needed maybe some formal training instead of just what I thought was right. But that's okay.
You'll have to
Cool.
give it a go if I'm ever in Alabama. I'll come and give it a game. Look,
Yes, that would be quite an adventure.
that'd be pretty cool.
That would be great. I'm sure you would whip me, but that's okay. Cool. Let's see. Last question. I end all of my shows on a piece of advice that you would give to your younger self.
Probably the best advice I could give to myself is enjoy your life to the full. Don't be scared to make mistakes. Mistakes make you the person you are. So that's probably the biggest thing I'd give.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I love ending the show on that question because I hope that people remember that and it resonates. Then they go out into the world and do something and maybe pick up table tennis. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, come and challenge me. Let's go.
You've asked for it. You might get some DM
Yeah.
or something now. So we'll see.
That was a bad idea to finish it off on that, but yeah, let's have it. Let's go.
I love it. Cool. Well, Tom, this has been great. Thank you so much for sharing your story and giving me some of your time today.
No, thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Tom, thank you so very much for coming on the show and sharing your story. Stay tuned for more episodes of Adventures with Aggie featuring disability sport whales coming to you on Thursday and next week.